Hey, howdy ho, everybody. This is Postmortem Nightshade, one half of your wonderful, amazing, charming, ghastly ghost birds, and joining me this evening is.
It is your boy, the Manslaughter. How's it going?
Woo woo! Welcome back, everybody. It is so great to be back with y'all for another week, another great episode. As we mentioned last week, we are sadly done for now with our DC animated movie discussion episodes. We are more than happy to come back once we get some easier access to some of the newer DC properties. They're a little hard or expensive to get your hands on, so once we get more access, we will definitely come back and do a few follow-up episodes. But for now, this is all we will be doing for the time being. But before we kept going, we wanted to just take a moment to reflect. We love doing tier list episodes, so tonight we will be doing another one of those and ranking all of the animated movies we have talked about up until this point. Alrighty, and so this week, just to give you a little bit of a recap, so you know what movies we'll actually be ranking here. Of course, these are all in our previous episodes. Please go check those out if you are interested. As always, also before we begin, please don't forget to like and subscribe. We would love to have you all join our family here. And additionally, we really appreciate you taking time out of your week to join us. So, to get started here, we have Justice League Crisis on Two Earths, Batman Under the Red Hood, Justice League Doom, Justice League The Flashpoint Paradox, Son of Batman, Batman Bad Blood, Batman The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and Part 2, Justice League War, Justice League vs. the Teen Titans, Batman vs. Robin, Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, Justice League Dark, The Death of Superman, Teen Titans The Judas Contract, Batman Ninja, Reign of the Supermen, Teen Titans Go to the Movies, Batman vs. the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Batman Hush, Superman Red Sun, Green Lantern Beware My Power, Aztec Batman, Batman Ninja vs. Yakuza League, and Justice League War World.
Oh, baby, we got a good lineup here. So let's see where we line up putting all these films on. I have an idea of where some of them already are going to go, but I'm interested to see kind of where other ones end up landing, so.
Do you want to fill them in on what our category rankings are?
But of course. So, at the top, we've got Super Fantastic Awesomeness. We've got Awesome-tacular. We got Boy Howdy, That's A-OK. We got Crud Bucket, and we got Doo-Doo Butt, or as I like to think of it, Doo-Doo Fart.
Alrighty. So those are our categories for this evening. And Slothro, kicking us off on our discussion here, Justice League Crisis on Two Earths. Where would you rank this one?
Alright, so after watching this movie, there's some really cool concepts in it, and I really wish they could have explored some of the characters, like the other Justice League characters, in more detail. And I think the animation was alright, but it wasn't my favorite. So I think for me personally, with like the whole package you get, I would say honestly, it's very middle of the road for me. I'd probably say low middle of the road. So like Boy Howdy, that's A-OK for that film.
Yeah, I agree. I am between Crud Bucket and Boy Howdy, that's A-OK. This movie doesn't really do anything super memorable in regards to anything besides the Batman character, which if you don't remember, then this is the one where the alternate version of the Justice League are like villains. So the best part for me was definitely Owlman's character and his very nihilistic plot. But yeah, I think I just kind of was needing a little bit more. The animation style in this one also isn't my favorite. So what do you think, Slothro? Boy Howdy or Crud Bucket? And we can always change later.
Let's throw it in Crud Bucket, and then if we have different thoughts on it, we can throw it a little bit higher.
Awesome. Works for me. And moving right along here, since I can see the best, I'll just take us into the next one. We got Batman Under the Red Hood.
Ooh, that's a really good one. I really like this one. This one's got the Giga Chad Joker chin animation style in it. This one I really like. I think it's got a lot of really cool animation and story beats to it. It's definitely, like, for a Batman film in like the animated world, it's definitely way more memorable than most of them. So I think for me, it's at least awesome-tacular. Like, the animation's good, the music is really good, the story beats are interesting. And I think the take on Red Hood and Batman, I think, was probably best executed in this movie.
Agreed.
If I'm being honest.
Yeah, Yeah, I 100% am with you there. I think that the Jason Todd story is super interesting. I don't think they pull any punches in this movie. This was one of the films that got me interested in the DC animated movies to begin with. This, like Slothro said, the score is really good. The Joker is definitely, in my opinion, one of the weaker Jokers in these movies and in live action in general. He's just not the strongest to me, but the plot alone between Bruce Wayne and Jason Todd puts it in awesome-tacular, so I'm with Slothro, going for awesome-tacular. And coming up next, another Justice League movie. We've got Justice League Doom.
Ah, yes, and this is the one where they first get together, right? In that new timeline where it's the Green Lantern, Flash, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman, right?
This one's actually also kind of its own animation style. That's actually not until Justice League War do we really get that new version of the timeline.
Ah, that's might be.
Yeah, so just as a reminder for Slothro and our viewers at home, Justice League Doom is the storyline where Batman's plans or like his contingency plans for the Justice League are exploited by Vandal Savage and the Legion of Doom. And so we get to see what Batman would have done to basically take out each member of the Justice League should they become a threat. And then this is also the one where Batman leaves the Justice League at the end of this movie.
Ah, yes. I remember this movie specifically because it has very similar animation to the first movie we talked about, and it doesn't really stand out too much. I think it's kind of cool that they're trying to incorporate some of the other DC like villains into the space, especially like people like Adam Savage, because you don't see him a lot. I think the only other property I remember seeing him in is Young Justice.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say overall, I don't know if I like it better than the first one we did of Justice League.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I'd honestly say it's very low boy howdy. That's a-okay, because I think it is better than the first one we talked about, but I don't think it's that much better.
Agreed. I think this is only a smidge better. And the reason why is I feel like the story was just more interesting to me overall. Yeah, I mean, the animation style, I feel about the same for Justice League Doom as I do for Crisis on Two Earths. But yeah, I agree, Slothro. I think it's just barely slightly better. So by this hair of its chinny chin chin, it's gonna go in boy howdy, that's a-okay.
Yeah, but it is definitely close to Crud Bucket, though. It's like sitting on the lip of the bucket.
Oh yeah, one wrong move and this Justice League Doom could easily fall into the crud bucket territory. Alrighty, and running up next here, haha, no pun intended actually, but we've got Justice League Flashpoint Paradox.
Ah, we've got Batman's dad. Yes, this movie has a lot of really cool, interesting concepts, and I feel like as these films go on, the ideas that they present get better and better on film. So especially like this one where it incorporates Batman's dad, and kind of getting to see the Flash, because honestly as well, the Flash doesn't get a whole lot of notice in a lot of the properties. Like he does, but he doesn't get the spotlight, and so I thought this movie definitely did a pretty good job in that. And I honestly, I think I mentioned it in the video, but I like the ending with where Batman gets a note from his dad from that different reality or that different timeline. I think overall, oh man, I hate to put it there right now, but I would say it's probably still a boy howdy, that's okay, but it's at the top of that. So it's definitely above Doom. It's not sitting near the crud bucket, but I don't know if I'd put it in awesome-tacular just yet. I'd need to think on it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think if Reverse Flash had been stronger in this movie, I think I would move it up to awesome-tacular. I just didn't think that we got a reveal enough of him. I mean, his plan was great and everything, but we only get like, I don't know, maybe 7 minutes of screen time with him. Thomas Wayne's Batman is honestly easily the best part. The Wonder Woman Aquaman drama is fine. I mean, it's more interesting than Doom, obviously, or Crisis on Two Earths. But, honestly, the Thomas Wayne Batman stuff is easily the best. And I think it's fine that they reset the timeline. It kind of gives this out for a lot of the future movies. I think that they do that in, Apocalypse War, where they use this trick that Barry learns in this movie where he can reset the timeline. So I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of that because it just kind of feels like a cop-out, which I get. They want to explore different storylines and everything, so that's fine. But yeah, the Thomas Wayne Batman stuff is definitely the best. And I would have loved to have seen some more of Martha Wayne's Joker. I thought that was a cool concept. But yeah, great spot for that movie. And up next, we've got Son of Batman.
Son of Batman, the very first one with our dear boy Damian Wayne. Okay, I honestly think that in this trilogy of Son of Batman, I think we'll see the third is definitely my favorite. I think the first for me is the weakest. because it also doesn't have nunjas in it, which is
True.
one of the big parts of the follow ups. So I would say this is definitely serviceable, but I would not put it too high because the animation was really good, and of course we got to see a little bit more of Ra's al Ghul, which is always very fun. But I would definitely say for where it sticks out, I would probably put it in like the middle of Boy Howdy, That's A-OK. If I'm being honest, it's definitely better than Justice League Doom, but I don't think it quite matches the Awesome-tacular.
Yeah, I agree. Would you stick it above Flashpoint or below?
Honestly, I'd put it just below Flashpoint, just because I feel like Flashpoint, like the stuff that we get to see with Batman's dad, I thought was pretty cool, and I like the Damian stuff in the trilogy of the Son of Batman. But this is definitely the film where it's the weakest. I feel like for the most part, especially like starting out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Thomas Wayne stuff is a little bit cooler to me than some of the stuff we get in this movie. This movie is like any first Batman trilogy movie. This is an establishment to like kind of prep us for Bad Blood and Batman versus Robin. So it is a very solid first in the film or like in the setup of a trilogy. And I like the animation. I like the animation style in this one. But yeah, I agree with Slothro. That's a perfectly serviceable place to put that one. And these got a little bit out of order, so I'm going to jump ahead a little bit here. We're going to do the next one in this trilogy, which is Batman versus Robin.
And then this is where we get the Nunja, I believe, right? The Nunjas are in the second one.
They're in the third one.
Or is that the Court of Owls? Oh, okay. The Court of Owls is the second one.
Yeah.
I really think the Court of Owls is very underutilized in a lot of the properties because we don't really get to see them that often. So I definitely think this is definitely a stronger follow-up to the first one. And I feel like they definitely helped mellow out Damian a little bit. He's still very annoying, but he's definitely not as bad as he was in the first movie. And I think, of course, a lot of the animation is pretty good in these ones. I like it. It's got a very unique characterization for this own trilogy. So I put it at the bottom of Awesome-tacular, I think, for me.
Agreed. Yeah, the Court of Owls stuff, especially with Talon. I really like the voice actor for Talon. I like everything that's happening there. I like the moral conundrum that Talon presents to Damian between him and Batman's ideologies. I also like that we get more Nightwing in here. So yeah, I agree with Slothro. 100% animation style, still great. Same as the first movie, a pretty solid sequel, in my opinion. And then jumping back just a little bit here, so we're not too confused. The last one in this Batman New 52 trilogy is Batman Bad Blood.
Yes, and so this one is definitely my favorite of this trilogy. I feel like they do a very good job overall with the animation, the story. You get to see Batwoman, which up to this point, I feel like they did you see her like every once in a blue moon, but I feel like she actually had a really good spotlight in this movie. And then, of course, we get to see Nightwing and Nunjas, which is pretty crazy. It's pretty cool. And the ending is just, it leaves it off really cool. Like, you get to see kind of the Bat family form in this movie, out of this trilogy, in this little world of, like, what if scenario they did. And I would definitely say overall, this is definitely, I still don't think it's as good as Under the Red Hood, but it's definitely the best of those three. So I'd put it in the middle of Awesome-tacular.
Yeah, that's solid for me too. I love the Nunja stuff. We get the most Nightwing in here, as I mentioned in our episode. Check that out again if you're interested. But in that episode, I talked about how there is a very famous and beloved comic run where Bruce Wayne is believed to be dead, so Dick Grayson takes over as Batman and has Damian as his Robin. Sadly, we only get a little bit of that explored in this movie, but I'm glad that we still got to see it put to an animated film. Batwoman's great. We get Batwing. I really like Batwing in this movie. And we get to just basically tie up all the loose ends with Talia and Ra's al Ghul. But yeah, I mean, we get the Mad Hatter in here, which is a very random villain. But this is a good movie. I like it. The mystery is good. I like the tying up of loose ends. I think this is the most streamlined, cohesive story and still same animation style, so still pretty solid. Honestly, I don't think the story is as strong as Under the Red Hood. I agree with Slothro there. So I think that middle Awesome-tacular tier is perfect for this one. And coming up next here, we have Batman The Dark Knight Returns Part 1. So that'll be this one right here.
All right. Now, these ones are pretty fun to watch. I would definitely say of what we just watched before, these are definitely have like way more like intriguing story like bits because it's very, very unique. And it covers a certain time period in like the Batman universe that you don't normally see except for like Batman Beyond. I would say is like the only other example I can think of.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say the first one. I think I liked the first one better than the second one. I think there were some really cool like scenes in the second one. So I think for the first one, I'll put it just below Under the Red Hood because I still think Under the Red Hood claws it out for me just a little bit. But that's where I'd put it, honestly, is still an awesome tacular because it's still a really good movie.
Very interesting. I would put the part one in S tier for sure, just because I really like this animation style is super unique. I've never really seen anything like it since. And obviously, the Frank Miller comic book run is super iconic. This is the first half of that. So there's no Joker. This is just Batman returning to the streets in his old age. We've got an old Commissioner Gordon, and he gets a new Robin, Carrie Kelly, who I really like. And just the different kind of dynamic of the Batman and Robin there. But yeah, I would put the part one at least in S tier. What do you think, Slothro? What should our compromise be?
I think we can put it in S tier. I don't think that's a bad film to put in S tier because it's a really, really good film. It's just, for me, it's more personal preference than anything, but I think it's a really, really good film.
Awesome. And part two, honestly, I don't think is S tier material. So I am willing to compromise on where it goes. But for me, it would go in Awesome Tacular. I do really like the Joker stuff is pretty dark in this one, pretty gnarly. There's a lot going on in the second part. You get the story with the Joker, and then there's also like the story of him fighting Superman and fighting the city, which honestly, the fight with Superman is super great. Again, the animation style in these two movies are phenomenal. Please, please, please watch them both. They're definitely a cohesive unit together. The ending of this movie is amazing. I love the mystery, the cliffhanger, and then the cliffhanger is resolved. But yeah, I think it's dark, it's gritty, it's a great second part, but I definitely like the first part better. So for me, Awesome Tacular. But what are your thoughts, Slothro?
Yeah, I put it in Awesome Tacular. I put it a little bit lower in Awesome Tacular than where I would have put the first one. I really think like the unique like concept scenario of like what's going on in Gotham, I thought was really cool in this one, because you don't see a whole lot of scenarios like that played out in a lot of the DC stuff. At least visually, like in the animated stuff, you see them in the comics, I think, a lot, but not nearly as much in the animated sphere. So I would say it's definitely above Batman versus Robin. I would say it's in tough competition with the third Batman versus Robin movie.
Agreed.
So I'd put it either behind it or just above it. But I'd honestly probably, for me personally, I'd probably put it just behind the third Batman versus Robin movie.
All right.
Or Batman and Robin movie.
Let's put that one there for now. I'd be open to change that one just because I really like the Superman and the Joker stuff in this one. But as far as how much is going on, these two movies actually have about the same amount of a lot of story, a lot of stuff crammed into one movie, so I can see them. They're basically neck and neck, I would say. And that takes us into Justice League War. As Slothro mentioned, this is the first kickoff of that distinct animation style we see in the Batman trilogy. It's kind of a part of that New 52 reset that we get in this like late 2010s run of the movies.
Yep, and this one, it starts off with seeing Darkseid, which is very interesting because a lot of the time you usually don't see Darkseid until like the very end, so I feel like they were kind of wanting you to really get to see him early on and have like an early interaction with the Justice League. I thought there were some parts of this that were definitely very interesting. I was kind of surprised to see that the Green Lantern was more of the comedic relief than the usual Flash.
Yeah, me too.
So I definitely thought that was definitely an interesting twist. But I think overall, the animation, it definitely is a change. It's a more grittier animation. I think it was definitely a pretty good first movie. I don't know if I enjoyed the story a whole lot with Darkseid kind of going on. It was very basic, and we've seen it before in other Justice League movies. But I think for trying to boot itself into a new timeline, I think it does a serviceable job. So I'd probably put it very bottom of Awesome Tacular or top to middle of Boy Howdy, That's A-OK.
Yeah, I agree. I think I like the grittier animation style. The story felt a little bare bones to me. I do like the introduction of Cyborg, though. That was cool. And I liked some of the interactions between Batman and Green Lantern. Those are mainly my biggest positives. So I don't know. Slothro, do you think it's better or worse than the Flashpoint Paradox?
Honestly, I think it's probably, I would probably say it's worse because I don't remember as much about that movie as I do about Flashpoint Paradox.
Yeah, and by that metric, I actually would put it even below Son of Batman because I remember a lot more about that movie too.
Yeah, yeah, let's do that because all I remember is that the Green Lantern is comedic relief and that Darkseid shows up, and that's about it.
Yeah, same.
So,
All right. Well, next up, Justice League versus the Teen Titans.
all right, now this should have been their first film probably for their new trilogy because this film is actually pretty good. But that's because I'm a Teen Titans fanboy. So I would definitely say for this movie, they do a really good job with introducing the Teen Titans into like the movie atmosphere because up to this point, the only thing you've really had of the Teen Titans is the original TV show, and I think maybe Teen Titans Go came out around this time. I don't remember when it initially came out.
Yeah, pretty close. They were pretty close, I would say.
Okay, well then, definitely by that metric, I definitely think they did a good job with this movie. They definitely made Damian way more of a unique character and way more interesting than when he was in his trilogy, especially with kind of taking the Raven avenue, which up to that point, at least in the classic show, it was kind of dabbled on but never like fully explored. So they definitely did that in this one, and I think they did a pretty good job with it. I definitely think it was a very entertaining film. I would put it's definitely an awesome tacular movie. It's kind of hard for me personally. I'd put it in between the Batman versus. No, I enjoyed it better. Oh my goodness, you can hear like a vocal debate I'm having in my brain. I'll put it after the second Batman one that we put in Awesome Tacular, but just before the third Batman and Robin film.
Okay, so in between like these two right here.
No, the next one.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Right there. Yeah, I'm also having a debate in my brain. I really like this movie too. I like the Raven and Damien stuff. I like the Trigon stuff. It is well, I don't know. The original Teen Titans TV show had some pretty dark moments, but this one is also pretty dark. Definitely with like Raven's origin story and those sorts of things. I am kind of bummed, as I mentioned before in our previous episode, that Cyborg isn't part of the Teen Titans in this universe, but that's okay. I do like the Damien and Raven stuff. It is a cool angle. It definitely gives him a more three-dimensional character feel rather than just the paint by the numbers angry kid. So yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like I would place it behind The Dark Knight Returns, but also I feel like this story is a little bit more streamlined. So we'll just put it there for now. And then we can come back and rearrange at the end.
Definitely one of the films I had to think the most about where I wanted to put it because it's got such like an interesting story, and it's just a really unique story, I guess is the best way I could put it.
Yeah, I also am like you. I love the Teen Titans. So that's some of the Teen Titan ones. Like we've also got Teen Titans: The Judas Contract. It's so hard because I just love the Teen Titans. But it's hard to like. I'm also trying to like objectively place them too, and then also based on how I enjoyed them. So yeah, I think you and I are both having the same kind of debates with the Teen Titans movies. But up next here is Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. And actually, since this is the second one, the follow-up, let's do Justice League Dark first. That would be this one right here. So, Slothro, thoughts on Justice League Dark?
I actually think for what they did with this film, there's definitely some weak points in the film, but I actually quite enjoyed my time with this. I really liked getting to see Zatanna, which you don't like really get to see hardly at all, unless it's like a one-off episode in like a TV show, or like she makes like a side character appearance, like in a blue moon, like once in a blue moon.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was really cool getting to explore her. You get to see Swamp Thing, and I liked the magic aspects that they did here. Parts of it I was kind of like, but I think overall, personally, there were some characters I really enjoyed, so maybe that's just biasy. So I would probably say as a film, it's very alright. It's serviceable, but it's definitely not my favorite. I would probably put it, I'd put it at near the top of Boy Howdy That's A-OK.
Same. I feel just the same way you do. I think I was just excited to get something different in the Justice League movies. And also, they do not explore the magic universe enough for me. So this was really fun to see all of the magic characters that are very present in the comics. Like Slothro said, Zatanna, and you get Constantine. And I love getting Batman's perspective with those characters. So pretty solid that we get to explore that, but definitely an okay movie, I would agree. So I honestly would put it maybe just above Flashpoint or below. What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I put it for me personally. I'd probably put it above Flashpoint just because since I've seen it recently and I got the chance to like, I thought it was really unique. Like getting to see like different characters besides the ones you always see. I thought was fun.
Yeah, I agree. I think I could be tempted to change it down just because I think Thomas Wayne's Batman is so cool. But I guess we'll see at the end. And then obviously, following that one up, they had a sequel, Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. Slothro, did you get the chance to watch this one, or was this one that I had only seen?
I think this is the one that you have only seen. I don't think I ever got the chance to watch this movie.
Yeah, that's okay. I was remembering correctly. So, this is the conclusion to the new 52 kind of run of the comics, or I guess DC animated spin-off or timeline they were trying to do, where they try to take out Darkseid. The Justice League go to take him out so that they can prevent further war. Obviously, they fail, and that's where we get Apocalypse War. So Constantine, has to help a depowered Superman save the world, and it's good. It's a good follow up. It is very dark, very gritty. This one is rated R, although I don't think it's any more bloody than some of the other ones. I do like that we get to see the conclusion of Damian and Raven's relationship, where they finally come together. I think that's a nice conclusion. But honestly, this was, I don't know. I don't know if I was like super thrilled that they reset everything. As I mentioned earlier, this movie, they just have the Flash undo everything. I kind of would have liked to seen one or two more movies after this. But as like a conclusion movie, I like the Trigon and Darkseid fight. So I would probably put this right here under Son of Batman. Just because I think that the Flash resetting everything was kind of a bummer. But yeah, that's where I'd place that one.
Basically, they were cooking hard, and then they were like, we're just going to reset that.
Yeah, exactly. They were cooking with grease, and then they were like, they threw it all in the fire. Okay, and next up here is The Death of Superman.
Man, oh man. This film, I think this is really a unique film because this is the one with all the Supermen in it, right?
So this is the one preceding that. So the one you're thinking of is Reign of the Supermen. This is the one where Superman fights Doomsday.
Oh yeah. And it's yeah, okay. I remember now. Yes, this film, it's definitely better than the live action rendition of Fighting Doomsday. I don't know if it's anything crazy though. I would definitely the animation style's alright. I would definitely put it honestly, I'd put it probably just underneath Apocalypse War, if I'm being honest. Like, it's a good film, and they definitely do the Doomsday fight pretty good, comparatively, but I don't know if the live-action movie ruined that whole vibe of Doomsday fighting for me.
Yeah.
Or what, but I definitely think it's not a high movie. It's crawling its way close to the crud bucket.
Yeah, I like this movie. I think it's pretty good. I just think that there are others I like better, I think is the problem. So I think that, yeah, I think it's just a story that was meant to kind of get us to the next plot in like this timeline, if that makes sense. I mean, obviously they all are, but some of them stand better on their own. This one stands better on its own than Justice League War, for sure. Although I don't know if it stands on its own better than the others in this timeline that are above it. So yeah, I'm with Slothro. I second everything that Slothro said. And we have the second Teen Titans movie, The Judas Contract.
Oh boy, I love to get to see more Nightwing and Starfire action.
Same.
So I definitely think this film was definitely a fun watch, especially from going from the first Teen Titans movie, getting to see Nightwing, and also getting to see him in red. You don't always get to see him in red, so I think I like the little change. They were like, let's add some spice onto this. They cooked up a nice ratatouille meal in this film, so I would definitely say this one. I would say this goes above the first Batman versus Robin movie for me in Awesome-tacular.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think that the story in the first Teen Titans movie is stronger. I like the villain better because in this movie it's Brother Blood and Deathstroke. But Deathstroke doesn't get to be the main villain, which is a bummer because he's well known to be an adversary of the Teen Titans. So I think maybe if they had a stronger villain, but of course, always love the Nightwing. We don't get to see him enough. So that's great. I also like the introduction of Tara, another character that we see from the early 2000s TV show. And yeah, I just really like this one. It wasn't my favorite Teen Titans, obviously, it's ranked lower, but I'm with Slothro. And that brings us to Batman Ninja.
Batman Ninja. Oh boy, this franchise is definitely I would say one of the most unique Batman ones you get to see, even with the ones we've seen so far. Just because I feel like they do just such an interesting and really good service to the animation style, the stories they're trying to tell with it, and just going a completely unique direction. So in this one, you get to, of course, see Batman and all of the villains fight in the timeline where I don't know how far in time or history that takes place, but it's in feudal Japan, and you kind of get to see all of the the main Batman villains kind of go up against Batman, and I think they did a really good job with the animation, the story, and just the overall vibe of the movie. It definitely, I think it serviced it very well, and I can see why they made a second one for sure. I would definitely say this is near the top of Awesome-tacular. I don't know if it's my favorite of the two movies, so I'd put it near the top of Awesome-tacular for me personally, probably.
Same. I would probably stick it below Under the Red Hood. Does that work for you, Slothro?
Yeah, that's a pretty good spot to put it.
Yeah, the first Batman Ninja, again, the animation style on it, like Slothro said, is really, really cool. It's very unique. It's also one of the most unique concepts, like Slothro said. So this is not really anything that we have seen since, besides the sequel. Also, the animation style, they don't really do it again. So if you want a new experience in the DC universe, these are the type of movies. Definitely go in with an open mind, as this is a more non-traditional Batman story, but it is very cool. We get all the Robins in here. The Joker and Harley Quinn story is super cool. We get to see a little bit more of the Penguin and Poison Ivy. So yeah, I think it's a really cool movie. We're going to talk about the sequel later, and I definitely prefer that one. But this is still a very, very good Batman movie and just a good DC animated movie in general. And that leads into Reign of the Supermen.
Reign of the Superman, I really liked this one, especially compared to the first one. I think they did a cool job with making almost the embodiment of what Superman is into a movie. More so in this movie, and I feel like it was just packaged really well. It was definitely very interesting, especially from someone who I've seen some Superman stuff, but I'm not as deep into the Superman lore as I am with Batman. So I definitely thought that this was a very fun Superman property as a non-Superman fan or enjoyer to watch. So I definitely say for me, I would say it's at bottom of Awesome-tacular. I feel like we're putting a lot in Awesome-tacular, but I feel like... So, okay, if I'm putting it at the bottom of Awesome-tacular, I think it goes to the top of Boy Howdy, That's A-OK.
Okay. I would actually beg to differ just a little. I thought this... Oh, I don't know, though. The Court of Owls is really good. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. Yeah, I agree. I think it's at the bottom, but I don't know if I would move it to Boy Howdy, That's A-OK. Just because I love the humor in this movie. I love the different Supermen we get to see. I liked the different angle they took with Superboy here and the kind of unwilling mentorship that Lex Luthor has. Yeah, I thought it was cool, but I can see your point, Slothro. There is a lot going on in this one. Yeah.
You can put it... I'm if you want, I'm willing to compromise at bottom of Awesome-tacular, because initially I first thought I wanted to put it there, but I was thinking if I'm already putting it there, I think at the top of Boy Howdy, That's A-OK. I think that's a pretty good bar for it, because it basically sets the precipice going forward for Boy Howdy, That's A-OK.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think as much as I love this movie, it's my favorite Superman movie. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's the best or the most awesome-tacular of the DC animated films, but this is a fun one. Please, if you haven't watched this one, please go watch it. It's directly after Death of Superman. It's just a really fun, lighthearted, enjoyable movie. I really liked this one. And so that takes us into a very unpopular movie, although I don't know if the tides have shifted at all with Teen Titans Go, but we've got Teen Titans Go to the movies.
Okay, man. This is going to be a hard one. I know not a lot of people like this film, but I actually really, I had a really fun time with this film, more so than usual. So I don't know if it's just nostalgia talking. I definitely put it really high, either on Awesome-tacular or just for the funsies, I'd put it as a super or an S tier, Super Fantastic Awesomeness. But I think just for story-wise, it's definitely unique. I don't know if it's S tier. I don't know if it's S tier deserving. So I'd probably definitely put it high in Awesome-tacular. I think that's more of a realistic place to put it. But I think it's just a very fun watch, and it's it's appealable to all audiences. I feel like it's got jokes for kids and adults alike. So
Yeah, I agree. This is definitely the most well rounded, family friendly DC animated film on this list. I also had a good time with this movie. The animation style is very bright, very colorful, so that's fun for the kids. And then there are, like Slothro said, definitely some adult jokes. This is a good movie. I like it. It's serviceable. I think that Teen Titans Go gets a lot of hate. I understand the original Teen Titans series is so beloved. I agree. It's great. It's amazing. They definitely took Teen Titans in a different direction, but it's a fun movie. I like it. So I would stick it in awesome tacular, probably above or below, probably below The Dark Knight Returns Part 2. What do you think, Slothro? Where would you put it in awesome tacular?
I think that's a good spot to put it, honestly. I think that works for me.
Well, awesome. All right. And up next here, one of my favorites of all time, Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Ooh, baby. Yes, this is also one of their most unique ideas they've done yet so far. At least in terms of like mixing two different IPs together. I definitely think for what they did with mixing two different IPs, they did a very, very, very good job with it in this movie. Getting to see villains and aspects of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle world and the Batman world. Getting to see Ra's al Ghul and Shredder kind of interact is also really cool. And you got the Cowabunga joke, which is also pretty fire. So I would say this is another A tier movie. It's this is like where it gets really hard now of like deciding what it goes up against, because I don't like putting them against each other. I would put this around where the first Justice or Teen Titans Justice League movie is. I don't know before or after it though.
Interesting. This is another S tier for me. This movie's too fun. But I also respect that as like a whole movie. I think that's a good spot. I think, like, what do you think? Below Batman Ninja, probably?
Yeah, that's a good compromise.
All right, nice. Yeah, this for me would be an...
But yes, it is a very good movie.
Yeah, this one for me would be an S tier film. I think it's so fun. Also, what a silly concept that just they knocked out of the park, mashing the world of Gotham with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We also get Batgirl and Robin in this one, which is super fun. Watching Ra's al Ghul and Shredder team up is super fun. Watching them kind of get pitted against each other. Watching the watching the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles find the Batcave is a great scene. So yes, for me, S tier, but probably realistically falls right here, not spectacular. And Batman Hush is next on our list here.
Now this one takes a very, I guess, background character and puts them more to the forefront with the Riddlers. And I think they do a pretty good job with that. I like the animation style in this. I feel like it's very much a very deep detective movie. I don't know. I really liked it. I thought it was good. Man, though, it's hard to put it in a spot with these other films because some of these are just so good. I put it just after the first Teen Titans Justice League movie, but just after it. And that's probably where I'd slide it in.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would put it after The Dark Knight Returns Part 2, just because I feel like the villains in this movie, in The Dark Knight Returns Part 2, are a little bit stronger than Batman Hush, although I do really like the Riddler angle. And I really like the Batman-Catwoman relationship is great. Also, the animation style is good.
Now that you're mentioning that, I think I agree with you where that goes. Looking at it and thinking about it, I think that's a good spot to put it.
It is a really good film, though. If you haven't seen Hush, it's a great one. It also has Superman unexpectedly, which he has a brief cameo in it. It's just really good. I liked Batman Hush. It's a unique story, like Slothro said, in that you get a C-tier villain brought to the forefront.
It's also got Poison Ivy in it, doesn't it? I believe it does.
Yeah, it does. She's the one that actually takes over Superman's mind.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember that part. Okay.
Awesome. Great. Perfect spot for that one.
The next one, Red Sun. Oh, man. This was the one where we watched the comic playback. But we got the premise of the story. And I think overall, it's all right.
Yeah.
For me, I guess for my personal preference, it's probably pretty darn close to the Crud Bucket.
Yeah.
The Crud Bucket zone. It's just like, it's like, if that's like a story like concept that is intriguing to people, then go for it by all means. I think just for me personally, and what we get in some of the other movies, I just wasn't as big of a fan of it in this in this story in general. And just it ending in like a loop is interesting. And if that's definitely like your story thing of like watching like time loops, then this is definitely a movie for you. But for me personally, I'd probably put it in your crud bucket.
Yeah, honestly, just based on my experience of what this was like watching this story, check out our episode if you're unsure what we're talking about. I would give this doo-doo butt. I was like, the story is fine. I just kind of was wanting some more from it. I did think the best part, obviously, is the Lex Luthor Superman debate of the capitalism versus communism idea and like just how they did the Superman origin story different in the Soviet Union. And the ending was interesting and unique. I just think it was fine. So I'm with Slothro. I'd probably put it like story-wise right there. What do you think?
I think that works.
Awesome. Top of Crud Bucket, Red Sun. Congratulations. All right, up next, Green Lantern, Beware My Power.
Now this one actually was pretty good. There was parts of it that I thought were but that's where I got to figure out how Jordan is the name of Green Lantern, as I so rightfully couldn't remember last time. So I think for what it is, getting to see Justice League Unlimited characters in a movie, I thought was super fun. Especially getting to see Hawkgirl, you hardly see her at all. I feel like in anything, unless it's like Young Justice, like a tiny bit in Justice League Unlimited or in this movie. There's definitely parts of it that I was kind of like wondering why, like like Celestro, I feel like was very underutilized. He was kind of just like a henchman. I felt like in this movie, even though he was quote unquote touted as like the main baddie.
Yeah.
So I would probably put this. I probably put this around where the Judas Contract movie is, honestly, with Teen Titans.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I was thinking probably it's really good. I was actually thinking like, oh, above Apocalypse War, I think. But do we want to compromise and put that somewhere? Like, what do you think? Would above Justice League Dark be a good compromise?
Yeah, I think that's a good spot to put it.
Yeah, it's good.
I think it was just for me. It's nostalgia. I think for me, why getting to see like Hawkgirl and John Stewart. There we go. I can remember the names, and getting to see John Stewart, I thought was really cool from Justice League Unlimited. So I think that's probably why it was more nostalgic for me.
Yeah, I can see that. We got to see something. This is the same reason why I ranked Justice League Dark so high. Is Green Lantern Beware My Power, like Slothro said. We get to see things and characters that we don't normally get to see. We get to see the Yellow Lantern Corps. We get to see the wider Green Lantern Corps. We get to see Green Arrow, and we get to see a lot more of the Justice League and how they interact with the rest of the universe. So I agree with Slothro. This is a really good origin story movie. Definitely one that I enjoyed. I love always getting to see Sinestro. Like Slothro said, I kind of wish they had not made Hal Jordan the villain, but, if you're interested in this one, check it out on HBO Max. It's really good. And third to last here, we've got Aztec Batman.
All right. Well, if you guys wanted another Batman origin story, this movie is right up your alley. But if you feel like you've seen a lot and you feel like that, you want a little bit of a different piece of pie, then this movie's probably not for you. This definitely takes... It's basically just taking the Batman origin story and throwing it in a different part of time, honestly. Actually, now that I think about it, it kind of gives me, like, the animation and, like, Scooby-Doo energy.
Yes, yeah.
But not as, for me personally, it's just not as entertaining as Scooby-Doo. So, I personally think this is, I hate to say it, but I think it's probably not a chum bucket. I'm thinking of SpongeBob. I'm thinking of the crud bucket.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking of sticking it after Red Sun, just because, like Slothro said, I have had my fill of the Batman origin story, and yes, it is cool that this is set in a different time period, but I also wasn't the biggest fan of the animation, and I feel like the outcome is pretty similar to, the Aztec Batman in here uses a lot of similar tools and the tool belt. The Batman costume looks really cool, and his reincarnation from the Bat God at the end is cool. But we got another Two-Face story, which I am so tired of those. We also have been centering Two-Face a lot. So, yeah.
Yeah, the recent 3, man, they love Two-Face for some reason. I don't know what is going on with Two-Face, but I'm like, dude, he is not that crazy.
Yes, agreed. So, What do you think, Slothro? Where in Crud Bucket would you stick this one?
I think where you suggested it is a fine spot because it's definitely a serviceable movie. Like if you want to watch it, like by all means go for it. It's not a bad movie. It's just compared to all the other ones that we've watched, and especially the next one we're going to talk about, it definitely does not hit the same for me personally.
Yeah, agreed. And Batman Ninja versus Yakuza League. Should we just agree this goes in S tier?
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, this is my S tier movie.
Agreed.
Yes, this movie peak cinema, guys. I know at first glance or first hearing it, if you haven't seen our episode, you're like, what? How could the predecessor to Batman Ninja be even better? They somehow go way beyond what they do in the first movie, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was such a fun ride. The characters are fun, the animation's great, all the cool like techniques that they do and story beats. And honestly, the visuals, there's some really cool visuals with like seeing like Gotham and then like Japan, the city of Japan or Tokyo, like cross parallel with each other. I thought they did a really cool job with that. And yeah, overall, if you guys want to know more of our thoughts, definitely go watch our episode on it. But I definitely would say that this is easily an S tier movie, and you don't even have to see the first one to watch the second one. It's definitely helpful, but you can watch the second one by itself, and you'll be just fine.
Yeah, I second everything Slothro said. Check out our episode. It's the most recent one, part 5, to hear more of our thoughts. The character development in here is great. Obviously, we get more of all the Robins, which is always my favorite ever. And it's really good. Wonder Woman is actually really well developed in here, which I feel like is often lacking in a lot of Justice League adjacent stuff. I also actually liked Superman in here, and Superman is not really my favorite character, but I did enjoy it. It was fun. It's really great. It's funny. It's way better than the first one in my opinion. So I'm with Slothro, easy S tier. And closing us out for this video, we have Justice League Warworld.
All right. It's finally time, Postmortem. It's time to use the doo-doo butt zone.
Oh yeah, there we go.
right out the crapper. Here we go. Oh boy. And I'm so sorry to say that we're leaving off our last movie. We go from absolute S tier to all the way to the bottom of the list. But if you've seen our episode on it, I think it kind of explains a little bit why. You've got Two-Face once again, and you're kind of left confused halfway through the movie until you get to like what I would say 40 to 50 minutes in, and then you kind of get an idea of what's going on.
Yes.
And I feel so bad because they finally utilize Martian Manhunter in a more like important way than just having him as like a really basic side character. But they don't. They do it as him just being like a limp noodle the whole time, and I'm like, oh man,
yeah,
that's such a disappointing way to do it, because I feel like they do him better in Young Justice with Green Beetle being a Martian as well. But even then, that's more about Green Beetle than Martian Manhunter. So it's just kind of sad to see the one time that they put more light on him, it just not being a kid movie. I think they just had like a bunch of what if ideas, and they just kind of threw it all into this movie, and I just didn't enjoy my time with it. I thought it was alright, and the animation was alright. It just wasn't my favorite.
Yeah, I second everything. The animation's fine. I'm so sad because Jensen Ackles plays Batman in here, and it's so good. And I'm so bummed this is the movie that they brought him back for. Yeah, I kind of could have used a little bit more Lobo, too. Lobo's in this movie, and we don't get to see nearly enough of him. Honestly, my favorite part of this movie was the He-Man segment. And I would have just preferred a whole movie with that. But, this movie is just, we waited way too long for, anything to be revealed, and the reveal sucked. So I'm fully fine putting this in doo-doo butt.
Yeah, it belongs to the Shadow Realm. The Shadow Realm of doo-doo booty. So, okay. So now that we've rated all of them, are there any ones that you feel like we should move around a little bit, or do you feel like this is a pretty solid list?
Honestly, I feel like Crisis on Two Earths could also be moved to doo-doo butt.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm more fine with that, honestly.
Although it'll go above Warworld for sure.
Yes, it's definitely more serviceable. Because at least you got Owlman in that one. In the first one, if you like He-Man, you get like 15 minutes of He-Man, and that's it. And you're like, okie dokie.
And I think the only other one I'd petition to actually move down would be Justice League Doom. I don't know. What do you think about that? To Crud Bucket.
I think so, yeah, honestly. It's kind of a nothing burger.
I Probably like right here though, at the top of it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that works. Even just thinking about Warworld, man, I'm just remembering like half the fight scenes, especially in, like the He-Man scene. It's like they just die.
I know.
Like someone falls off a cliff, and another guy's like, "I got this," and walks through the door and just evaporates, and you're just like, ah. And then oh, just like what we talked about in the episode, like the wizard having a gun, and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, I would love just a world of or a movie with that world. The He-Man world would have been super entertaining, but I guess they wanted to, like you said, do some other what if concepts, which was kind of a bummer.
Or if they want more of that comedy, or like I know it wasn't intentionally comedic, but if they wanted more of that route, like make its own movie, like based on like having like more of a comedic sense, which I know is not always the case with a lot of the DC properties, but I feel like that would be very entertaining to at least see how they could take that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. Are there any others that you would like to move around, Slothro?
I mean, the one that I really wanted in S tier got in S tier, and I think it's a pretty good list overall. I have no problems with it.
Sweet. Well, then, folks, here is our final ranking of the DC animated films we have talked about up until this point. We really appreciate you sticking with us through this longer episode. We hope that you guys enjoy watching these as much as we enjoy making them. But as always, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. And I also love to plug my co-host Slathro. Definitely does some amazing, amazing video game content all over the board, all different kinds of genres, short and long form content. So please head on over and check him out. He does many videos a week, so you will be eating good as far as having lots of content to consume. So please like and subscribe to the Slothro channel. We would really appreciate it.
Why, thank you, and also please go check out my the more flashy and crazy awesome co-host Postmortem Nightshade, because she does some really really cool movie reviews, guys. She does shorts and she does long form, and she has a lot of really really fun insights on a lot of movies that have come out and have been out for a while, and also a lot of the new ones that come out each week for each year. So definitely go check out her channel, and honestly a lot of her newer reviews are a lot of fun, so definitely go check out her long form videos as well. She puts a lot of effort into them.
Well, thank you, Slothro. It's always such a pleasure co-hosting with you, and we cannot wait to see you all back here again for another wonderful, amazing, charming, ghastly ghost birds video. We will see you all next week. Bye!
Bye.